have a gift for you. Hello and welcome back to another midnight showing. As always, I'm Kelly, and I just got out of The Gift. Yeah, and this movie was, oh my god, just insane. Now, I've heard people complain that this movie, oh, it should have been on the Lifetime channel. This is just something so cheesy. This ending was horrible. Did you watch the same movie as I just did? Because that was freaking terrifying. And no, this isn't something that belongs on Lifetime or the Wii network. It's not something like that. This movie has similar themes to those, but they're executed a hell of a lot better in this movie than they ever would on a Lifetime production. So don't even give me that crap. This movie gets an honest to God must see. I am so glad that this movie came out at the same time as Fantastic Four. I would have seen it that same week if not for the fact that it was not playing at a suitable time where I could have seen both of them. But yeah, The Gift, holy mind blown. Go see it. End of story. You don't even need a spoiler section. In fact, I'm not even really going to do a spoiler section for this one. Because talking about the spoilers inside this one basically ruins the movie. And the whole movie is a really, really tense psychological thriller. It's psychological might be a little pushing it, but it is a thriller. And the who did it, when, why, how, and why, especially the why, is too important to spoil. It really isn't. Honest to God, this movie has Oscar-worthy performances from Nate Bateman, the guy from Horrible Bosses. I can't ever say his name. I'll probably put it down here if I can, but he's always been just a comical actor. He's the smart guy inside of the Three Stooges stuff. I get it. I've seen it before. Yes, he's funny, but I've never thought of him as a dramatic actor. And you know what he was in this movie? He was a dramatic actor. He was an asshole, but he was a dramatic actor asshole who I could completely see existing in real life. He wasn't over the top, nor was he updude and under to the point where, yeah, that's not going to happen. No, he's completely 100% real. He's haunted by his past, and Joel Edgerton's character, we'll get into him in a second, and yeah, he's trying to survive in this world. You'll find quickly that he is just as guilty as Joel Edgerton is, but again, we'll get into that in a second. His wife, whose actress name I can't think of off the top of my name, I remember her name from the movie was Robin, so I'll just call her Robin. She is probably the best here, showing the just terror of knowing that you have been stalked before. She doesn't even know that this is over or anything, or whether it's still going, yet she's constantly reacting to every little sound around her, everything that's going on, and she is by far the best and most likable character inside of this entire film. And yeah, she was still amazing, pitch perfect, every single line. It's just all three of these actors and actresses should get Oscar nods for how good they were. So let's get on to the real star of this, the one who really sells this movie, Joel Edgerton. Joel Edgerton both directed, wrote, and starred in this movie. And I really think that he was trying to connect this to a real life event because of how real these events seem. They seem so real that I could see this happening in real life. His writing is superb in this. He comes off the perfect kind of creepy stalker vibe with guy trying to move on. He balances them perfectly. I could see someone having a problem with the ending, as it does go a little more one-sided than the other. But at the same time, I could also say that people would be disturbed by the ending for the fact that it's disturbing. So yeah, he's perfect. I can't even go in detail how perfect he plays this role, as it would involve spoilers I don't want to give. Needless to say, I hadn't seen a really, really messed up performance like this since I watched Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. I mean, it was just perfect. I'm going to use that word a lot. Perfect. This movie does have some flaws. Most notably, a couple of story flaws where the police can't find evidence of something, even though they clearly can, because they of what where they live and how some certain crimes are perpetrated. So yeah, your police are stupid, even more so than the stupid police inside of Nightcrawler who couldn't figure out that, well, yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's a sociopath. No, I'm still not off that if you guys actually did watch that video. To which, if you did watch that video, thank you. But it's just. This movie is a thrill ride from start to finish. No one character is good, bad, protagonist, or antagonist. They all have multiple sides to them, each one of them broken. Nathan Bates' character, Bateman, whatever you want to call it, whatever his name is, funny man. His character, yeah, he's an asshole, but he's also a haunted asshole with a past who, yeah, he did some bad stuff 30 years ago. That doesn't necessarily make him a bad man now. Now, people who have seen the film will contradict that later, and you're completely welcome to. But when you start finding out about this stuff, yeah, there are shades of good and troubled and just trying to move past something that happened. He's not completely an antagonist or the bad guy who's getting retribution here. Especially when you get to the ending, he's as much a victim as the actual victims inside of the room, which would be his wife and Joel Edgerton's character. And yeah, going into his wife is just, she's recovering from problems that go right into her character, especially to the whole point of everything, which was to try to start a new life and make a family. And she's kind of the reason why they had to leave Chicago. Kinda. And yeah, she's just as messed up. She holds a secret inside of her pertaining to why they had to leave Chicago. And although I would call her almost 100% victim inside of this, I can honestly say I could take away 5% of that because some of this might be her fault. And that's one of the things about this movie that is really, really great. But is that there's so many arguments being brought up and so many performances just mind-blowing. Joel Edgerton, yes, he had bad shit happen to him in the past. And I mean really bad shit happened to him in the past. But he's also the one causing 90% of the problems in the present. Do we really side with the guy, especially when we learn about what he may or may not have done as the climax of this movie? It's pretty sick. Now, the whole theme of this movie is the past coming to haunt you. It has themes of just bullying, business ethics, politics, perceptions, and hell, I could even argue gender roles. There's so many themes brought up here, and not brought up and waved in your face like a fucking keyring. No, they're brought up in a very, very subtle, well-respected way that make you think. They don't try to shove these things in your face and say, drones are bad, or you shouldn't bully, or you should always handle your business like this. No, they just put out the situation and let the issues bring themselves up for you, the audience member, to decide. This movie is a thinking man's movie, and it is disturbing. I have no intention to ever see this movie again. It did not make me feel good. Unlike something like this, like Nightcrawler, that had that same exact effect on me, I hate Nightcrawler. I don't hate this movie. This movie has messages that you need to really think about, and this movie has a very subtle and well-driven way of bringing them up without actually, trying to be direct about it. It's a very entertaining watch in this psychological thriller. but I can honestly say that I was not comfortable in my seat. That was completely the movie's intent, and I don't fault it for it. But I was not comfortable at all. As much as I can praise it, I can also say that some parts, especially the end, what may or may not have transpired, because even the movie leaves it open, it's pretty messed up. It's so messed up, I can honestly say that it's fucked up. And I watch a lot of anime where tentacle monsters end up grabbing girls in conspicuous ways. Yes, Bleach and Sword Art Online, I'm talking about you. And those things have I've seen some pretty messed up shit. I watched Elfen Lied. I watched Rin, Daughters of Nomosani. I have seen some pretty messed up shit. And this movie takes the cake because of how real it's portrayed. It is a masterpiece of a movie that I have no intention of ever watching again because of how much it just disturbed me. This is not a popcorn flick. This is not something that you're going to want to go there. This is not something that you're probably going to be entertained by necessarily. If you love the thriller, you'll be entertained by that thriller. You'll be entertained by the psychological mind fucks that everything's going wrong along with it. But you probably won't like your sit. It's a must-see for me. Everyone should watch this movie once. It's that kind of movie. It's the one that you once, you say, I'm glad I saw that, but I am not watching that again. So, my final verdict is go see it immediately. This movie is just messed up in all the right ways. And every single message it brings up is something that you need to think about and consider, especially if you're starting a family. And if you have some skeletons in your closet, you better be fucking prepared for the consequences. Because they are coming. So, yeah, that's it for me. Did you enjoy the video? Have you seen The Gift? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and maybe we'll get some healthy discussion going. If you want to see more of my videos, I will have my more recent ones posted right down here inside of annotations. And if you want to see my channel and subscribe and maybe see my playlist of all of my midnight showings I've ever done, I will have links to those in those upper hand corners right up here. So, yeah, that's it for me, and I will see you all next time.